Some Canadians aspire to win the Stanley Cup, to become Prime Minister, or to operate the Canadarm in outer space. Daredevil Ontario inventor Troy Hurtubise had a grander plan, one that fired up his imagination and ours. He wanted to grapple with a grizzly bear in the wilds of Alberta's Rocky Mountains, pitting human ingenuity and high-tech body armor against 600 pounds of ursine orneriness. In this feature-length documentary, Troy James Hurtubise goes face-to-face with Canada's most deadly land mammal, the grizzly bear. Troy is the creator of what he hopes is a grizzly-proof suit, and he repeatedly tests his armor and courage in stunts that are both hair-raising and hilarious. Directed by Peter Lynch, the film has become a cult classic in the United States and is rumored to be a favorite of director Quentin Tarantino. He never realized the ambition that consumed hundreds of thousands of dollars in much of his adult life, and which made him a folk hero in Project Grizzly, Peter Lynch's classic Canuck documentary from 1996. Hurtubise's exploits were lauded by filmmaker Quentin Tarantino, gawked at on YouTube and lovingly satirized on TV's The Simpsons. Hurtubise, 54, died June 17 in a head-on collision with a fuel tanker truck on Highway 17 outside North Bay, the city the one-time Hamilton resident had called home for decades. His Chevy Cavalier switched lanes in broad daylight directly into the oncoming truck, a move that may have been deliberate. The truck driver was unhurt. Troy had been fighting depression, money and marital problems, and had recently moved out of the family home. His widow Lori Hurtubise told the Hamilton Spectator, "I just hope that whatever decision he made and however it came about, that he is not suffering anymore, that he somehow found the peace he couldn't find in life," she said. The couple had one child, a millennial son named Brett. Article continued. Bella, whatever was going on in Hurtubise's fevered mind on his last day, it's unlikely that fear was involved. He lived to stare danger in the face, beginning in his childhood when he nearly burned down his home by creating a mini volcano in his bedroom using gasoline and water. He told filmmaker Lynch in Project Grizzly that just one thing in life deterred him: being bored. Monotony. He dressed like a cross between Daniel Boone and a European adventurer, in buckskin jacket and red beret. He had a cleft chin like movie action heroes. Hurtubise's ambition to go mano a biro with the king of the Canadian wilderness came from a chance encounter with a grizzly while camping as a youth. He barely escaped being mauled by a beast he called the Old Man, due to its long chin fur, and the incident kindled within him the ultimate, what if could a man escape death from a lethal bear hug if he were properly armored? An inveterate inventor, his gadgets include bear repellent and a ray gun that supposedly spurred human hair growth. Hurtubise plowed his life savings into developing versions of a supposedly bear-proof protective suit he called Ursus Mark 6, the number he'd reached by the time of Project Grizzly. It was fashioned out of layers of rubber, steel, titanium, chainmail and plastic, cost 7 years to develop, $150,000 to make, and was colored patriotic red and white. Hurtubise gamely hunkered down within the suit as it was subjected to numerous hilarious assaults, thrown off Hamilton Mountain, struck repeatedly by a pickup truck, pummeled by swinging logs and hammered by baseball bat-wielding bikers, who were also his pals, regular listeners to his tall tales at the local country-style donut shop. Troy Hurtubise demonstrates his latest Ursus suit in 2002 at Nathan Phillips Square in Toronto. Colin McConnell *P66 Troy Hurtub, Toronto Star. File photo. The one thing Troy never got to do, for reasons of bad luck as well as financial trouble, was to actually tangle with the object of his obsession. At the time of his death, he'd suffered yet another setback to a hoped-for sequel to Project Grizzly, with a different director at the helm, in which he'd finally get to square off with a bear. The latest of his suits, Ursus Mark 8, was in hock at a North Bay pawn shop. The object of the exercise was more than just proving a man could survive a grisly grappling, filmmaker Lynch told the Star via email. The article continued below, more than anything it was a project that let him feel the throb of existence, it made him feel alive. I have always seen Troy's narrative in mythic terms. Why a grizzly? It was something worthy of his respect and dread, and it was something that lives in an untamed wilderness. Lynch said he can't quite believe that Hurtubise is gone, since he seemed indestructible. Troy had the air of invincibility around him, like Kilgore in Apocalypse Now. The guy that knew he wasn't going to get so much as a scratch on his head with bombs dropping all around him. Or, in Troy's case, when he would test the suit against all those giant logs, bikers with baseball bats and being hit by pickup trucks, he felt immortal. So I still have a sense of disbelief that he actually could have died, not Troy. Our paths crossed and we were both forever changed by the experience and by the film we made. Hurtubise did achieve at least one of his stated life ambitions. He made himself memorable, not just to his fellow Canadians but to people around the world. He will forever be known as the Project Grizzly guy. If you can leave something behind in life, you know, he said of himself in the film. You always want to leave something behind. Peter Howell is the Star's movie critic based in Toronto. Follow him on Twitter, @PeterHowellFilm.